what's the timeline between filing, trying to find locate the individual, get the legal process going for people to be like have a realistic time goal? Like, because people sometimes, even like myself, when I was in that situation, you hear a lot of fake information. You think you're going to solve this within 2, 3 months, and everything's going to be
No.
happy dandy. And what I realized, I've come across people who've been doing this for nearly a decade. I'm like,
Yes.
yikes. I mean, the
So I
kid's
tell
about to be 18 years old at this point.
at that point, and they're alienated enough to not want to come back. That's another thing. And you're absolutely 100% right. A layperson would think that once they have the New York court order, it's very easy to get things going in a country other than the US. Getting that New York court order is the easy bit. You are gonna get it because
Yeah,
the behind parent the taking parent just took the child willy-nilly, is not on purpose participating in the custody proceedings in the court, is sort of in a contempt, whether you hold them accountable or not, but has not paid any attention to the New York court proceedings. So the number one part where you get a foreign custody order, by foreign I mean let's say New York,
yeah,
that is still easy. Getting that
agreed.
order enforced in India, um, I wouldn't say decades, but there you are right. There are cases where it's gone on for nearly close to a decade. I can't. There are cases. I can't deny that. But typically, even for you to start some kind of an emergency proceeding, which is the best way to move forward, is the habeas corpus petition. There's possibility of appeals. Indian judiciary, Indian courts are extremely, extremely overburdened at this point. So your turn comes when it comes. It's not, nobody's sitting there just to hear your court case, like your habeas corpus. Whether or not it will be entertained in the first place is
I
a
see.
separate question. It's not 100% given that you'll approach the court under the habeas corpus jurisdiction and they will do something about it. They might say that there's no emergency and there's no case, we're dismissing it. So you go to the high court and you start all that. It takes you about 1.5 year, give or take, if everything goes smoothly. Then the other parent has the option to appeal it to the Supreme Court.
Right, right,
Another 1.5. Oh, by the way, High Court and Supreme Court are extremely streamlined and good courts. They move fast. It's the lower courts that are extremely overburdened
right.
and very slow. So during this time, when you're doing the habeas corpus and all that good stuff, the other parent is gonna reach the local court and start something, a de novo fresh custody proceeding there, like a regular family court proceeding. So there have been times where the higher court will simply direct the left behind parent to
Mhm.
participate in to go down to the lower court and start there. If that happens, then it's easily, if the other parent is trying to make things difficult,
Yep.
5 years maybe. Yeah. So the harsh reality is that when you combine overburdened judiciary, timeline issues, administrative issues, appellate issues, all that combined, it's years and years. It's never think months, never think in months. That's not happening. And by that time, children are very rooted in India or any such country. And it's not in their best interest to uproot them after 4 years or 5 years of staying in India and then sending them back to the US. Very, very complicated and difficult.
Yep, I absolutely agree. And I've seen this myself with several cases here at Find My Parent that I've several cases that we get. We try to help individuals. And my advice today, I try to give parents is like the number one thing you have to do here is regain the trust of the individual and try not to end the relationship bad terms.
Yeah,
That's the
I
number
would
one
agree.
thing is like just talk to them peacefully, lovingly, and caringly, even though this is really, really hard because
Mhm.
the other person feels like they're back against the wall. And I think you need to just find somewhere in your heart tenderness and peace and convey that as much as possible and just be patient as much as you say like I deserve this. The reality is the moment you hit that in your mentality and you have an international marriage with the other person leaving to the country where there's no Hague and there's no co-parenting laws and then you don't know anything about the court system over there, it's going to drag out to be very complex. So just be kind is the number one thing I tell people.
I agree, 100%. How are you gonna navigate all this if you're in terms that are so bad that you
Yeah,
can't stand the sight of each other? Then any chance of co-parenting basically just goes out the window if you don't even have that going for you. So I always tell the people who reach out to me to not the criminal like pouncing on criminal options
yeah,
that barring many very few cases that
yeah,
shouldn't be the cause. And also of late I've seen a trend where children have been returned.
yeah,
You have to take many steps almost immediately to make that happen. The more time you waste, the more you lose the chances of the child ever returning. Again, those cases are limited. Those cases are not, if you go by number, I can't obviously give you an exact number, but maybe 20% or lesser, if not 20. So yeah, in those cases, of late children were returned, and it was a very welcome